Good morning there. Again, it's been an early start, not as early as it normally is, but we was up at 5:30 this morning because hubby had to go into work earlier. Funny enough, it was the one night I think I could have slept on. Normally I wake up to 3 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes I get up and do a little bit of filming or a little bit of something, and then I go back to bed and usually I can sleep. Whether that's good or bad, I don't know. That's what I was advised to do, because else I will lay in bed, my mind will be ticking over, can't shut off, and probably end up disturbing hubby. So it works, but for some reason I just didn't want to wake up this morning. As I said, 5:30 we got up, and it was the one morning I really wanted to sleep in, which is not like me. Well, anyway, yes, I'm going to talk about Christmas. We're in September, so hopefully I can be excused. I am going to start doing bits and pieces towards Christmas. I'm planning, because I have to start early, else I will not get the items that I want to accomplish done. Either that, or I end up having to rush things and it's not quite as enjoyable. Plus I have most of the materials to do the Christmas projects I want to do, because I had thought them out from the previous Christmas, and this is one of those projects. A good friend of mine who I've known for years, and I know all her family, I do an advent calendar, and I have done for years. The last 3 or 4 years, the advent calendar has grown into about 3 or 4 shopping bags. Yes, it sounds a lot. And each gift was numbered and wrapped up in the parcel paper. And then obviously I put the number on. And they can range from Christmas ornaments to Christmas sweets. I always used to include a Christmas cushion and Christmas tins, Christmas napkins, paper plates, anything. So each day she would open up a gift, and then she would have a main gift, which sometimes was like a little Christmas gift basket on day 25th, which is obviously Christmas Day. This time, and I did tell her, so she knows about this, is the advent calendar is going to be in little bags, and each bag is going to contain a Christmas tree ornament. Now that much she knows about, because I did tell her. I will not be sharing the contents of the advent calendar until after Christmas Day. That was because I want that part to be a surprise. Now, most of the ornaments I already have. I would say about 3/4 of them. Some I've made, and some I'm waiting to see what new items are brought out this year. I always have a budget after Christmas to buy bits and pieces, for the next year, and I do this quite a lot, especially as I'm not working at the moment, so it just helps along. And I have actually done it most of my married life, especially when I took a break and I had my 2 boys, and we only had the one wage obviously coming in. So that's why I've always budgeted, always had logbooks, and yes, I'm rabbiting on. I will say, this is clean. It might look a bit dirty, but it has been cooler, and I might have said to a viewer that I was feeling a bit rough yesterday. I think it's a sudden dropping in temperature. We haven't had our heating on as yet. When I'm moving around, I still get hot, but at one point I thought I was coming down with a bit of a chill. So I have got my nice thick, can you see, thick fleecy jumper on. Now this was Tesco's, but this is about 5 or 6 years old, and it's like a sheepy fleecy, and it's my favourite, and I still snuggle up in it. Now, I'm hoping it's on my wish list, and I will mention this as we're talking. I do have a wish list. Some things people laugh about that's on my wish list could be, you know, just general household things, other things I've seen or haven't seen, but keep an eye out. Well, let's get on to the advent calendar. Now, I'm going to do day 5 with you. The main reason is if you want to do something similar, it might be something you need to get your materials in. You may already have most of them. It's another idea to use your scrap Christmas bits up, which is what I've done in this case. Now, I've made the basic envelope for my Easy Summer gift, but I will do that again. And this is because I did check on Amazon, eBay, and I found the little brown, I think you call them sandwich bags, quite expensive. And I found it cheaper, and I bought a couple of rolls, which I always use anyway for wrapping up different gifts, and because you can decorate them how you want. I find it cheaper to actually buy the rolls of paper and make the gift bags up. Again, I've mentioned this, I do little projects, sitting with the family watching TV. Right, let's start with day 1. This is what I mean. This is the gift bag. I've left it flat. And this, as I say, is day 1. I believe actually so far everything that's in my stash I already had, except for the paper. So I've got the gems down here, Poundland. This is the Christmas paper, again from Poundland last year. These bits I already had. And this, and of course on day 1 I had to include my owl. My dear friend knows me and owls. The only other thing I did actually buy new, and I bought it straight after Christmas last year, was the Advent numbers. But you could easily just buy numbers or, you know, craft them on some way. So, and I've put the number 1. So I hope that's in focus. So that's day 1. This is day 2. The washi tape again bought after last Christmas. I don't know if anybody else does. Please do comment if this is the sort of thing you do. As I said, the sales are not as good as they used to be. Let's face it. Boxing Day used to be, well, when I remember anyway, when I was little, used to be sale day. But very often I've known to go in Tesco's on Christmas Eve, not that I had to, and it's surprising they've quickly slashed a lot of their stuff. And the stuff that I've bought on Christmas Eve, even though I had all my shopping, I sort of just nipped in. Right, this paper here is what I've actually taken out the inside of a card. So the washi tape came from Poundland, and I got these little wooden embellishments that I've got from Amazon, and the number 2. As you can see, this is a reindeer theme. Right, this is day 3. I went a little bit into blues and purples. Again, something I had already had. These are all the little tiny bits that I got out on my little embellishment Christmas box that I've kept. And I keep saying this, it's a good way of using bits and pieces up. The pinwheel, no I didn't. It's one of those I got from Hobbycraft in the sale. I haven't made any yet, but that's something, again, I mentioned on my list. A little bit of scrap paper I had, number 3, and the washi tape. Again, I think it might have been Poundland, I am not 100% sure. So that is day 3. Right, this is day 4. This bit was cut off a card. I believe the paper came from Poundland, and the same. The washi tape is either Poundland or Hobbycraft. after Christmas. Again, I got these little wooden embellishments that I got from Amazon. These little bits and pieces I bought, got off cards, and the number 4. And if I haven't mentioned the paper, I'm sure was from Poundland as well. So I'm saying this is a very reasonable and quite easy craft to do. Now, I am going to put a Christmas tree ornament in each of these. And I can't give you the dimensions because I basically just went by eye. But it depends what you're going to use. I mean, they don't have to be this big. They can be smaller. You could use ordinary envelopes if you're just going to put maybe a little chocolate piece in, or maybe you want to do like a bucket list, you know. It's the sort of thing, let's face it, when my kids were little and that, we didn't have YouTube. I'd have loved to have done the lollipop stick where you put the bucket list on. I have done something very similar for adults, which I might do for Christmas, but I'll keep you posted about that one. So that, and I've just reused a basket because once I've done them all, I'm hoping, as you can see, they're going to stand nicely in there. I'd love to, and I'm hoping to, find or check my basket stash to see if I could put them maybe in a nice basket that I can decorate for Christmas. So, except for the contents, I can't actually show you what I'm going to put in them. Right, that's enough. So, I've got all my sheets cut. So, I'm going to put those out the way for a minute. This is very simple. For the first part, I had thought about getting some of the, is it called invisible tape? I've just got normal sellotape at the moment. So, making the envelope, and I've done this before, it's very simple, very easy, is you take your paper, fold it, and then you bring it in so it meets, and I'm just overlapping it a shade, like so. That is the start bit, as I said, very simple. Then just use your tape to seal your bag. I know the backs are not pretty. I mean, you could decorate the backs. What I might consider, I will say, maybe towards the end, is maybe putting some papers at the back, you know, to cover this bit. That's what I might do at a later date. I'll keep you posted. This is actually going to be a series, and I'll show each of the bags, whether I actually do them on camera or I actually have made them up previously and just show you what I've done. Right, so there is your little bag, and then what you need to do is just get your paper, and you have to fold it up like so. Hope you can see this, and just smooth that down, and do the other side and smooth that down. So can you see that? So that was the paper. Just fold that up like so, and fold that down. So that's how it looks. As I said, a very easy basic thing. I've done these and I'm going to do some like this at our craft club that I've done. I've actually going to my craft club today, and I had a word with a good colleague of mine there at our local community centre, and I mentioned about the junk journals, and she's researched it also on YouTube, and we started last week the journals. So we've allowed, I think, maybe 4 weeks for that, and see how we go. So us ladies, our basic crafters, we are starting to do junk journals. Thanks for all the nice ladies that have been doing the junk journals. We're only doing a basic one, but it's a start, and the ladies are really enjoying it. So I've just taped down that bit, folded it down, taped down, so you have your bag. What I am going to do is just turn the top bit over like so, because when I put the item in, I'm going to put maybe one of those little embellishments, the circle ones that I keep using, that I got from Poundworld. I'm going to see in the stores like Poundland to see if they have any this year, just to seal it down, or I might use a bit of washi tape. But the reason I've done that, so I know what area I've got to use. So I'm going to have it that way. Right, now I have pulled a few bits out, and I was going to make this one last night, but I thought, no, I'll wait until I'm on camera so I can go through it with you. Now, one of the items I did purchase straight after Christmas, because I knew I wanted to do this, was the Advent Christmas numbers, sorry. So I made sure I had those. But as I said, you can use any numbers. The one I'm using this time is, I'm going to use this little bit of paper. This is again from the inside of a card. So that I'm going to be using that. There's a theme here. I've pulled out my Christmas embellishment stock. These, I think I've showed you these before on a card. And I've brought these, as I say, I buy a lot of items after the season. So I think I only paid like 20-25p for them, if that. Again, for the theme, I've got this little wooden embellishment with the ivy, because I thought it would go with this. Ivy and the little bauble. And I've mentioned this before, this is nail tapes. And I use them more for crafting, I must admit, and this is so I can do the little ribbon, so it looks as though it's hanging down, and that's what I'm going to be using. So I think you can understand where I'm going through with this. Right, let's start. Now, I would have used my paper strimmer, but it's a bit clumsy to put in this space, so I'm just going to measure it up, and I'm just going to take just a fraction off. I think it's going to go there. So, and normally I would have used my paper strimmer, as I said, but I'm just going to use a pair of scissors and just snip that. I mean, you can fast forward this part if you want, if I'm waffling on or going on, as I'm sure you understand. So that is going to be my main piece of paper. So I'm just going to glue that using this glue, because this I've been using on this bit and it works. So just seal this down. Some glues, this paper glue is okay. Maybe I can have some feedback on the types of glue, especially when you're doing this, because I've noticed when I was doing my journal, depending on what glue you use, it creases up, and it, you know, I think it's more the more liquid glues, if that makes sense. This bit wrinkles up, you know, so I presume this type of glue, and as I've been told, and obviously for stronger, this all-purpose glue. Right, but for the paper, this bit is fine. So I I always have a problem with the corners. So please let me know if you're going to do something like this. I'm concentrating on my friend at the moment. Whether I will do a mini one for my husband, I'm not sure yet. Actually, that one's a little bit more. Right, so there's the basis. And usually I find it's not too bad using that paper glue. Right, so that is on there, and I'm just going to pause it a moment. Sorry about that pause, I've just had a drink. I just want to show you my mug. Act like a lady, think like a boss. I have got a bit of a sore throat this morning, so I just wanted to have a drink and a pause and make sure it was all stuck down. Give it a minute just to dry. So there we are. There's the piece of paper to start with. Right, next I'm going to use this cardboard embellishment, I think. And I was thinking, originally I was thinking about having it down here. But after a pause, I think I'm going to put it up like that so it follows it round. And for this, I'm going to use the stronger glue because this is obviously tougher. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this glue on here. And then straight back on that one. So it will continue to come out. And I'm going to put that here. So it's just following it round like so. I always sort of layer it if I can, but obviously before I put tiny embellishments or anything on, I like to play around with the bigger items. So that's what I'm going to put on there, I think, like that. So I'm going to glue that one on. I think I'll use this one again. Put a bit of glue on there. Put this one down here. As I say, I've made sure I folded that bit over to make sure I knew the area I was playing with. Right, and another reason I wanted to pause it was I wanted my nail trim, which is this one, and it is so finicky, and to find the actual end. So I'm going to put this down. I'm going to do it so I can get it straight. So make sure that's down. Snip that there, and just snip that at the top there. Just fold that over. I tried to do a little preparation before I started this video, but I realised I was going to spend ages actually trying to find the end of the tape. So there we are. So there's that. And also, while I was having my coffee, I thought I would use a bow. So let's get this off. What I'm going to do actually, I'm going to take, I don't want that pad bit on, I just want the bow. So I think what I might do is put that down there. Yeah, So what I'll use on this is a good old glue dot, I think. Let me glue dot on the back there. And then I'll just fold that glue dot so I don't stick anywhere else. And I'm going to put it on like that. So there's that. Right, now I always have my little ketchup dish here, and I did got my number 5 ready, so I might put that down here like that, and I'll just use paper glue for this, which is what I've been using. So there we are. So I didn't sort my washi tape out, I must admit, and I have been putting washi tape on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going, as you know, I've got all my washi tapes here, and I've got my Christmas ones at the back. So I'm not sure if I actually got one with I have actually. I was about to say I haven't got one with ivy on. It's not actually ivy, but I've got this thin one that could go. Moustache to bring a bit more green in. I was going to go for red. I do love my reds, but I think what I'll do is I use the green. Yeah, I think I use the green one and see how that is. So this is another one that I haven't actually used, and I got again this one after Christmas. So what I tend to do is just pull it out and see if I like it. Yeah, I think that will go. If I got some ivy one, I would have done ivy. Snip that so it just gets to near enough the end. Put some at the top as well. And snip that. So there's the tape. The green probably may not show up so much on camera, but I think it just brings that bit of green element into that. And I quite like the idea of putting something in my bauble, maybe a gem of some sort. I've got some different ones there, and I might see if this is too big. To put a little bit of bling in there. Amongst some of the ivy, I think I'll put a couple of these gems on. Now I'm putting these on, but I'll probably reinforce them with a bit of glue. Yes, I'm happy with that. So that is day 5. So I hope you've enjoyed this Advent calendar, and as I said, what you can always do is do some very similar for your family, and if you haven't already got one, that is, and put chocolates in, maybe bucket list, or things like watch a Christmas movie, or just a little message inside your bag. As I said, I'm using mine for Christmas tree decorations. So once again, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please comment below, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, thank you.